Day 19 at sea, and we're barreling through Caribbean waters on our final stretch toward Curacao. At dawn, the sun rose behind Tela Ru and lit up a brilliant rainbow dead ahead, a jaw-dropping moment that felt like pure magic. By sunset, that rainbow had faded, but our excitement only grew. Because after sailing more than 14,000 nautical miles since we first picked up this classic monohull in Curacao, we're about to touch those southern Caribbean shores again. It's all been leading to this epic finale of our 21-day sailing passage. Welcome back to Sailing Tela Ru. Can y'all believe we are on day 20 at sea? We've actually just sailed across the North Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Caribbean from the town of Mindelo on the Cabo Verde Islands. Honestly, many people don't choose to, in one fell swoop, sail across the Atlantic Ocean and then across the Caribbean Sea, which is what we're doing. With it being day 20, we are actually only about 97 nautical miles away from Curacao. We'll actually reach Curacao first thing in the morning. We're going to slow down just a little bit so that we will arrive in daylight hours. We're going to be crossing the Pacific Ocean super soon, so there is a lot more to go, but today is our very last day at sea. It's wild to think that we've been at sea for 20 days without stopping, just passing on by these landfalls starting on day 16. No stops, just go, go, go. So wild, but also really exciting. I can't wait to figure out what we're going to eat as our first meal. I can't wait to set foot on land for the first time after 21 days at sea. It's going to be wild. We have officially arrived to Curacao, the biggest full circle moment of our entire circumnavigation so far. This feels absolutely over the top amazing. It's currently 8:11 a.m. We're waiting for the fuel dock to open, so Shawn decided to go ahead and cycle out some of our jugs of fuel that I believe we got back in mainland Europe. That's when I believe he filled those up. He decided to go ahead and cycle those out, fill up the tank with those, and then when the fuel dock opens, refill the jerry cans, the jugs, with fuel. Oh my gosh, so it's still officially day 20. It is 8:11 a.m. and it will not flip to the next day until 12:15 p.m. We started at about 12:15 or 1:15 the day that we started 20 days ago. Every next day at 12:15 starts a new day. And so it's officially still day 20. I can't believe it. We sailed over 2,600 miles in 20 freaking days. Shawn's behind me, as you can see, with the jerry cans. He's calling me.
It's raining out.
With our fuel topped off, we set our course for Saraboka Marina, the very place where we first laid eyes on Tela Ru, our beloved classic monohull. Today is a momentous day. We're completing one big epic circle, having sailed over 14,100 nautical miles that all started right here in Curacao. From this island paradise to Puerto Rico, then onwards to our home base in Florida, across countless borders, and eventually crossing the Atlantic Ocean to Europe, sailing town to town, country to country, before braving the mighty ocean once more to return back to Curacao. Now we're tying up in the exact same slip where this grand adventure began. Talk about a triumphant full circle moment.
Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. I know man, passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself.
As one can imagine, being right back here, where we laid eyes on Tela Ru for the first time to begin with, walking the dock and the marina grounds, and realizing the 14,100 nautical miles we've sailed since picking up Tela Ru from here not terribly long ago was quite special and nostalgic, to say the very least.
Made it through the day, 'cause I found my way, I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way. Cause I found my way.
But the journey isn't over. Our circumnavigation continues, and we can't wait to share every wave and wonder. First, though, it's time to celebrate this incredible milestone and the inspiring spirit of Tela Ru.
Hey y'all, it is Cockpit 30 aboard good old Tela Ru. And y'all, it has been said that life sometimes brings you full circle back to a place you've been before, just to show you how much you have grown. And y'all, back in June of 2022, Amber and I hopped on a plane and flew down here to Curacao to Saraboka Marina, where we took ownership of Ron 2, which became good old Tela Ru. Curacao is a beautiful tropical island in the southern Caribbean Sea. Curacao, along with Aruba and Bonaire, form the ABC Islands of the Caribbean. Curacao is outside the Atlantic Hurricane Alley to the south, which makes it an ideal place to be with a sailboat in the stormy months of the hurricane season. After the search for our blue water cruiser kept coming up short in the U.S., we decided to expand our boundaries. In particular, we wanted to find a Scandinavian boat due to their seriously strong build quality and seaworthiness. The universe led our search to an awesome Swedish-built Naod 440 that just happened to be owned by YouTubers Johan and Malin of Ron Sailing.
We have made it to Curacao. Oh my gosh, we are so excited to be here. We finally made it. Our hearts are pounding. We're going to go get our sailboats.
Exciting stuff. A deal was made and off to Curacao we went. Walking down the dock of the beautiful Saraboka Marina with Johan to see our awesome Naod for the very first time was truly exhilarating. After getting a tour of our awesome boat, Amber and I then headed to the beach where we had a wonderful, amazing dinner at Zest with some truly awesome views. Cheers. After our first night's rest in Curacao, the next day it was back to the marina where we started working on the boat. Hanging at the top of the mast with a tropical breeze blowing and the boat swaying in the water sure isn't for the faint of heart. After all the work was done at the top of the mast, it was time to head out in the Caribbean for our first sea trial and checkout. The wind and waves made for a sporty first checkout, but the rock-solid Naod made it a breeze. Back in the harbor, we fueled up the boat and Amber got some practice with the anchor system and learned how to drop and raise the hook. After a few days in Curacao getting everything ready, the day finally came. It was time to cast off the lines and head out to sea. As we left the beautiful island of Curacao behind, the feeling of finally being at sea in our very own sailboat was heart-stirring and truly awe-inspiring. The strength and stability of our magnificent Naod as it plowed its way through the churned-up Caribbean waters was absolutely stunning. Amber and I couldn't be more enamored with our great life adventure we have chosen of sailing around the world. It has been said, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the bow lines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. And here we are today, back at Saraboka Marina on the beautiful island of Curacao in the same doggone slip where we took ownership of this boat. After sailing all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, back here to the same good old place we've been before, I believe that calls for a sip. Today we're going to get into some of this here Woodford Reserve double oak, y'all. Good old Woodford Reserve is owned by the Brown-Forman Corporation. And if y'all know, Brown-Forman Corporation also owns good old Jack Daniels and Old Forester, along with the Woodford Distillery. Now, before we break this seal open and get into this, let's see what the good old Woodford Reserve Distillery has to say about this here double oaked process, y'all. Now, y'all, the distillery says, an innovative approach to twice-barreled bourbon creates the rich and colorful flavor of Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Uniquely matured in separate charred oak barrels, the second barrel, deeply toasted before a light charring, extracts additional soft, sweet oak character. This here Woodford Double Oak, back in 2023, won not a single, but a double gold medal at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Y'all, let's see what the distillery says about the tasting notes on this here Woodford Double Oak. On the nose, there's rich notes of dark fruit, caramel, sharp honey, chocolate, marzipan, and toasted oak. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't know what in the hell marzipan was, so I had to Google it. It turns out marzipan is basically cake icing made out of crushed almonds and sugar. Moving on with these distillers' tasting notes, they say on the palate there's a full-bodied mix of vanilla, dark caramel, hazelnut, apple, fruit, and spices. And on the finish, they say it's long and creamy with lingering hits of honey apple. Ooh-wee, don't that sound nice, y'all? Let's get this thing cracked open. Oh, yeah. Man, that smells just like a caramel bomb. I smell just like a caramel apple. Y'all know those good old caramel apples you used to get when you were a kid on a stick? Let's give her a pour, y'all. I sure do get that caramel apple on the nose and get that hint of that toasted oak there. Ooh, man, that's nice. Let's give her a sip and see what she's got on the palate, y'all. Cheers to your health. Y'all, on the palate, I definitely get that creamy vanilla, definitely get that hint of that fruit, and on the back end, you get that hint of spice. Ooh, man, oh man, that sure is nice, y'all. Y'all, on the finish, I do get a really creamy, medium, long finish. Man, this here Woodford Double Oak. Now, there's fine sipping bourbon whiskey, and then there's mighty fine. And y'all, this here Woodford Double Oak is mighty fine.